Hello everyone, let's talk about introducing legislation. Now this is not about the legislative process, but rather what goes into the legislative process so that it has something to process. In other words, let's look at it this way. We've got our Parliament, there it is. We know that Parliament creates law. That's its primary function. And we also know that that law then goes on to the government that implements or promulgates or indeed executes that law, hence the executive. But the question is, what goes in at this point so that the whole process has something to work on? And the answer to that is a bill. And here we have a bill. This happens to be the Health and Social Care Bill of 2012. That then begs the question, well, okay, that's our bill. Where does the bill itself come from? Where originates bill? And the answer, with the pleasing symmetry of a slightly frustrating provenance, is that most bills, the vast majority of bills, are drafted by government. So we have this sort of circular pattern. The bill is drafted by government, it then goes into Parliament, and Parliament chucks it out the other end, gives it back to the government to implement. So we've got bills coming this way and laws coming that way. There are some exceptions to the rules, and these are what we call private members' bills. And private members' bills is pretty much what it says on the tin. These are bills created by members of Parliament in their own private capacity. Now, very few of these bills become law, largely because of the limited time in the schedule, but primarily because the government is not pushing them through. There is no government initiative or no government incentive, if you will. And so there's no real urgency attached to any of these bills. People do get very excited about private members' bills. I'm never quite sure why, but all the private bills, the private members' bills that you might need to know can be found on Parliament. Here are a few critical ones. These ones are interesting. The government was quite keen that these should be introduced by private members so that they wouldn't be forced to advocate them one way or the other. So these were introduced by government. There wasn't a government position on them, and the members themselves, were allowed a free vote. Yes, so there are a few more bills introduced by private members. You can find out all about them if you follow this link here. And this will take you to the Private Members Bills podcast. In addition to that, there's a lovely page here on Private Members Bills, which is right here. And this will tell you more than you ever need to know about Private Members Bills. And that's about it for this presentation. Before we go, can I suggest we have a little bit of a little refresher, and just a little refresher here on sovereignty. So what is sovereignty? What is your definition of sovereignty? And then there are your entities. To whom or what sort of sovereignty do these guys have? So you write those down, wait for a minute. When you've waited for a minute, you can click onto the next page and we'll see if you were right. Wait for it. Okay, here we go. Sovereignty, of course, is the highest level of authority in any given system. And in the UK, we recognise three different types of sovereignty. Government has got policy sovereignty. They are the people who are making the decisions. They are the people who are setting the national or government's agenda. These are the guys who draw up the things to do list. Parliament is the legal sovereign. They create laws. And the people are the political sovereigns in that all political sovereignty comes from them. So all political power, all political authority comes from the people. And that's it. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That's got to be a record. See you on the other side. Bye.